welcome to this series of programmes. Where next for Central and Eastern Europe? The challenges for business and government to 2020. My name is Daniel Thornley, Senior Vice President of the Economist Group in Vienna, and I'm very pleased to be interviewing today my friend Alfonso Diani, Senior Vice President of Eastern Europe CS Oracle, and welcome to the programme today, Alfonso.
Hi, Danny.
You're the Senior Vice President of Eastern Europe and the CIS. What is that?
That is a new, for Oracle, geographical region we created a few years ago when the EU enlargement of the 10 new countries came into fruition. And the reason for creating this region is to share experience across the region to do with joining Europe. And also to share the trends of an emerging market, because all of these countries are considered emerging and high growth markets.
So a lot's happening positively in East Central Europe. GDP is storming along, budget deficits are down, inflation is under control, real wages are growing well. The region as a whole is doing well. But compared with other BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, East Central Europe doesn't get as much attention as it may deserve. How do you and Oracle see the region in a global perspective?
Danny, thank you for this question, because it allows me to say that this region is really considered one of the growth engine for the corporation on a global basis. And yes, you're right, we have a focus on the BRIC country like many other enterprise. We review on a regular basis how each of those four are doing. And definitely Russia is doing extremely well for us, double-digit growth for many, many years. And we think it will continue also in the few years to come as well. But also Eastern Europe, we have seen growth in that part of the world. But I think the success we have is really linked to our presence. This region needs local presence in our experience. We've been there for 20 years. We have almost around 3,000 employees. We have 12,000 customers, 3,000 business partners. Business partners are extremely important for any corporation in the region. Local presence and relationship is critical, and we enjoy that very much. We are operating in 24 different sites. We have offices in 24 different sites. So our presence is also made by local resources. Our managing director are local people. All of that has been a critical success factor in my view, the length of our presence and the local leadership for our double-digit growth trend in the last 5 and 10 years.
What you say there, Alfonso, about local presence is very interesting. Oracle being in the region and the need for Oracle and other Western companies to be close to customer, close to suppliers on the ground. So the question from there leads into how do you see East Central European territory as a location for business?
We were pioneer, I must say, in identifying the fact that these are major countries with great skills, but very close or relatively closer to Western Europe business centers. So we have invested heavily in some of these countries, in a lot of them, in terms of our own resources, creating what we call near-shore centers. For example, in Romania, now in Bucharest, we have 1,000 people in a center. It's shared service center, support service center for our global customer. And we created that just 4 years ago from scratch with great success. We have created a mobile application center in Warsaw, close to the local technology university, and sponsored with them and by them. We have created a new technology adoption center in Istanbul for our business partners. And the reason why we have done that is twofold. Yes, of course, we benefit from relatively low-cost wages. We all know that comes with it. But I think even more is the skills, the language knowledge of the Romanians. That was a critical success factor for the 1,000 people center we have there, but also their technology skills. They had traditionally been good technologists. They had great schools, whether you're in Lithuania or in Romania or in Russia or in Warsaw, excellent schools, and we were able to benefit from that. So great location, close to major business, but also big markets by itself. So if you look at Poland, if you look at Romania, if you look at Turkey, these are major countries. So the combination of a local market with great skills, able to export those knowledge, those skills outside, is a good bonanza for business if you can get that opportunity at the right time.
What you say, Alfonso, about outsourcing in Romania is interesting. It leads me to a couple of supplementary questions. The quality and results of outsourcing in East Central Europe, are they reasonably good in comparison with the rest of the world? And then I wonder, is East Central Europe a good location for outsourcing for European companies, whereas, say, China and India serve Asian companies and then Mexico serves North American, or is that a little bit too simplistic?
Well, I would say in our view they're complementary. I think it would be wrong to compare Romania with India, for example. The scale is just so different between the two countries that you should not compare. But definitely for roles where you need, again, local language, understanding where Düsseldorf is, I think Romania would know that much better than someone in India. So I think the right balance of offshore center, mass number of people doing shift work like the one we have in India, and customer contact centers speaking customer language closer in time zone to Western Europe, it's the great thing to do, and that's what we have done. So we're not really saying they compete, but they complement, and you need to really orchestrate that kind of resource allocation year over year with good plan and attention on where the emphasis of your company is shifting, whether it's shifting from cost only to skill and language.
You were talking there about how companies can look at saving costs and so forth, but also what is the issue where government can come in and add to the equation, and how can they make their economies more competitive today?
We have seen a lot of different kind of strategy here across the region. I must say that if I may, what we have seen is when a country has defined a mission for itself in the global or regional economy, that was the key driving factor for government investment. We were talking about Romania. Romania really has done a lot in the area of IT outsourcing shared service center. They have their own taxation facilities, which is good for developing software and so on and so forth. And they have declared that, and all the investment and the plan of the government are around that. Poland, for example, is, and the government is very engaged in continue to develop and exploit the great agricultural strength. We have done a lot of things with the government, with the Ministry of Agriculture, to manage the EU funds for their farmers. And they were one of the successful country in adoption of those funds. Every time the government understands and defines that branding of their own country, and I gave you some example, then all of the investments and all of the focus area are the right one, because they're leveraging the local strength. When you want to do everything and anything, and I don't want to mention any country, but there are some that are not clear in what they want to do, then this is where you see intermittent investment in the government, not long-term plans and investment for improving the services they give to businesses and things like that. So that's the area to watch.
Thank you very much, Alfonso, for your insights and those of Oracle. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny.